Kevin Hart's business needs our attention. Kevin Hart was on The Breakfast Club, and he is replying to some of the criticism that his roast received, mainly Tony Hinchcliffe on the George Floyd comments. Like to hear it. Here it go.
It wasn't a tasteful joke to our culture, to our audience, but our audience that's watching the roast, if you're watching the roast, you get why they're doing it. I hate to say this, but I'm going to because we're being honest. People are talking about that joke. Talk about a set. Tony Hinchcliffe arguably had the best set, or one of the best sets, between Tony and Cheryl, and I would say Naeem. Like, what is it that you expect me? You want me to take the live production and stand up and fight Tony or have a reaction? Like, Tony told a joke. We didn't like it. Okay. Hey, man, that joke. We move on. I don't understand why we stand on a hill and it becomes like this big thing. It wasn't a tasteful joke.
No Joe Budden.
I think he said,
and that was just a clip of it.
Yeah, he's right in that we're in the middle of a live broadcast. It ain't nothing that I could do.
That's not true.
Yeah,
that was one of the biggest lies he told. That's not true at all.
No,
Mark explained, because I asked him, like, well, what else could he do? And when you was just like,
yeah.
I get it. You won me over with that one.
Secondly,
well, there were other jokes taken out of it, which says that someone somewhere along in the process had the ability to remove jokes from this. So we can't just die on it was live, there was nothing we could do. That's not true.
Now, do we know?
There's a tape delay when it's live for instances like that, when somebody says something too stupid and you need to pull it. The afters was live.
No, I'm talking about not that part. I'm saying that, he said the joke. I can't do whatever. Because it's Kevin Hart's roast. I don't think him making a issue, I think it would have been worse. But you still can't say...
You think what would have been worse?
If Kevin Hart would have shown that he was offended, it would have went way left.
What about if he would have shown he was offended prior to the airing of this, like when it came across someone's desk?
I don't know if he read everybody's
I was gonna say,
jokes.
is there a world where nobody saw that joke?
Yeah.
Could I say that because
were these people unfamiliar with Tony Hinchcliffe?
No, I'm talking about that joke. I'm only speaking to that specific joke.
Tony Hinchcliffe has made that George Floyd joke at least his last 5 appearances. He's been thirsty to get that George Floyd joke off at all of these fucking functions. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is not a new thing with Tony Hinchcliffe or this joke. I
didn't know about the joke, but I disagree with him in the fact that his set was just a great set. I didn't think it was. It was cool.
Nah, his set was decently funny until it went too far.
It was cool.
It was cool.
It was
cool.
cool.
That Lizzo joke was very funny.
I disagree with him saying that. Yeah, I thought Tony's set was arguably one of the best sets. However, the George Floyd joke put a greater stench in me than whatever I had in me from you doing good up there. Sure. One, I totally disagree when Kev says everybody watching the roast understands what a roast is and they're watching. That's not true.
No, it's not true.
That was very evident.
I was going to get into that point. Like, it offended our culture, and then everybody watching. That's bull. Because it's white people, it's people that just have a little bit of tact and a little bit of class can see that joke was...
we just heard Chelsea Handler say that she was offended and uncomfortable by it.
It ain't even just that joke. I saw people offended at the some of the shit that was said to Cheryl. I saw people offended at the Pete Davidson dad jokes. Like, everybody did not understand what a roast is.
And I think context does matter. I remember, Pete Davidson don't know his dad died in 9/11. So... he was in the building when the planes crashed. I remember one time, I watched every celebrity roast. And there was one time where they were roasting Kevin before. Someone else was getting roasted, but when Pete was doing his crowd work, he went to Kevin and said, soul plane is the worst thing that's ever happened to me involving an airplane. It's like, so if he's willing to make that joke on himself, then that kind of opens it up.
Yeah, but everybody don't know that.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that part.
People will get Michael J. Fox made Parkinson's jokes on his own.
Yeah.
I make a Michael J. Fox Parkinson's joke, and they was coming for my head. People don't even know that he plays it. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's times that people don't know the full dynamic of shit.
I get that.
And they just get offended for the person, and that's even if the person cool.
But this is where it gets tricky for me. I think if it's a roast and there's rules to a roast in a genre, I can't I'm not responsible for the crowd not knowing the genre. But I do think that there are boundaries even within jokes. Like, for example, I'm not against racial jokes. I remember Jeff Ross one time said to Shaq, like, hey, during the Shaq roast, so your knuckles are scraped. Did you walk here? Like, that's clearly an ape joke. That's a racial joke. But I think that's right at the line. George Floyd.
Somebody else will be on some.
And that's funny.
It's a funny joke.
It is funny.
Yeah. He told Shaq, watching you shoot free throws is like watching right? Some people might say that's past the line because you're talking about mentally disabled people. Other people might say that's funny.
I think people inside the comedy world and outside appreciate a really great racist joke.
Yes.
However, if you miss or it don't connect the way that you thought it would, then you're gonna have to deal with some people being offended over the shit you said.
And when you start talking about somebody that lost their life and all the civil unrest and all of those things that transpired after that, it's just a bad, tasteless joke.
But again, I'm not talking about Tony right now because Tony is white and can think whatever he want. He come from that Roganite sphere that I agree with Chelsea and what she said. I have no conversation for him or the likes of people that think like him. My conversation is back to Kevin Hart. This is a black man. This is black excellence. One of the biggest comedians that we have. And for him it ain't so much about the joke and who was offended and who wasn't, but for Kevin Hart to gaslight people, because that's what he's doing. For him to say, oh, I don't understand why people are offended.
Oh, I see.
It was just a joke. It's overblown. He had one of the best sets. The people that are offended don't give a fuck that he had one of the best sets, Kevin. And if anybody's supposed to understand that, it's you. But Kevin Hart sound like, some of those accusations are being cooned out, may or may not be true sometimes, depending on what room he is. 2, he sound like he just got entirely too much money to even think about any of this shit.
What I hear.
He just sound like a nigga that's too rich and too up and too wealthy, and you got to play certain games when you are at that level.
That the higher up you go, the more disconnected you are, and the more you start playing the game up there.
You're thinking on the macro.
That's what
I
I
think he's
hear.
missing the point too. I mean, like, I agree with everything y'all just said.
That happens.
If that joke were the outlier, I don't think we'd be having this conversation. Most people who are upset about that joke are upset because they see that joke as an extreme symptom of the bigger issue throughout the whole thing, which was a bunch of white writers getting racism off through jokes throughout the entire show.
See, and that's the part about Kevin Hart that I would love to be able to champion. We saw a homie from I think Michael Che from Saturday Night Live. Shout out to him. He posted the picture of the writers.
Yeah.
So the Kevin Hart that I'd like to imagine is your roast. You could put a black writer in there.
Right.
I mean, I say all the time.
All white writers?
Yes.
Yeah,
I didn't see the picture.
Yeah, they were.
That's what I'm saying. It's like that's a lot of them racist jokes don't hit different when you realize there's a bunch of white men in the background getting their racism wrong.
Especially when he just went on to say, hey, that roast was produced by my company.
Right.
Well, everything that he does, and we'll get into that clip in a minute, is produced by his company because that's just the way that the business goes now.
No, I'm just saying, it's different. If my company has nothing to do with that. I just show up. Totally different on that side. But I'm like, your company is the producer of this, so you got a little bit of input into at least the writing room.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I say all the time that, you know what, because black people always rush to throw the racism card out. And sometimes it don't be racism. Sometimes a white person just really don't know or is totally tone deaf. And I say all the time that just asking a black person would save so much if you're confused. Yeah. Like if you're confused about what would be appropriate and what wouldn't be appropriate, just ask a black person. But that's tough to do when there's no black person in the room, and that's a tougher pill to swallow when we talking about one of ours. But to Ice's point, if Kev don't look at himself as one of ours, then I ain't about to keep looking at him like that.
Why you think
and he clearly don't by the way that he sounds.
But I heard that we say up here that sometimes, you know, comedy has gotten soft and we like the dark jokes. 1, 2, when Dave Chappelle was doing all the trans jokes and stuff like that, I heard some people, not up here, but were making an excuse for him. Like, oh, yo, it's all right, man. Yo, come on, it's just jokes. So it's always going to be something that somebody's offended by. We offended by this because it's George Floyd. And I totally agree with you. The joke is disgusting. But listening to him...
Well, not just because it's George Floyd. That's a large part of it.
George Floyd
but it's George Floyd from Tony Hinchcliffe.
Written
at a Kevin Hart roast,
but nobody know
written by white writers.
Nobody initially knew
it's
that
the
it was
gum. It's the gum.
But nobody initially knew that it was written by white writers.
That came out pretty immediately.
When?
Shay posted that within 24 hours,
Hours,
of the,
yeah.
Okay, then
of the show airing.
But that's what we're saying.
Pardon me.
Even to the people that didn't know, from what we were hearing and feeling, it was safe to assume.
Got
It felt like that.
I don't like the George Floyd joke, but
Yeah.
I do hear people saying that. Well, we like dark comedy. Comedy's getting soft. I heard that.
I heard the same thing, Flip, because I'm seeing people say, "Yo, well, we don't like the George Floyd joke, but we love the Charlie Kirk jokes."
I didn't like that joke.
But I'm saying there are people saying,
Yeah, and I thought that
"Hey,
was just- I thought
we
all of
came
them.
in
what
here-
side are we on with
Nah.
this?"
And we've argued some of this
Yeah,
already,
yeah,
so
right,
we don't
right,
need to
right,
keep
right.
rehashing
Don't
the
gotta
same
go.
talking points. But
You're right.
it was important that he went on the Breakfast Club and addressed some of this shit.
Yeah.
Neutral button.